let me. All right. So welcome to video 2 of our second lecture session. So what I want to do is instead of then discussing the entire question, but let me try to also give guidelines with the other questions as well, so that you have
No problem.
perspective of what is happening. So with this one, I think as I was explaining, it's basically the accounting process. Ah, okay. I see why it's doing this. Ish. Okay, so it's the accounting process. So you've got source documents which have to be captured in the subsidiary journals. I think I've already explained that part. You are clear. And then if you look at this, so there are two things that are supposed to happen there. So number one, it's inspection, and number two, there's comparison of certain transactions that you can do from the purchase journal to the supporting document, just to verify whether they are supporting documents for it. Are we
Okay.
together? Mhm. That's basically what needs to happen with the first one. With the second one, to determine that all the goods received from suppliers are recorded as purchase transactions. So with this one, here's what I want you to observe. So goods received, right, from suppliers are recorded as what? Purchase journal. So it's basically, so goods received notes, it's part of your source documents. And to ensure that the transactions for the goods received notes are captured in the, what is it? Obviously, it would be in this case, purchase journal, right?
Purchase journal.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, let me do this. So this will be your subsidiary journals. And to be more frank or specific, it's your purchase journal, right? Because we are buying. And obviously we are checking to trace whether it has been captured in the purchase journal. So what are we going to do? We're going to trace a sample of goods received notes received by the organization, trace them to the purchase journal to ensure whether the transactions or other records on the goods received note have been captured in the purchase journal. That's what you can do. So you can trace. So tracing, it's a forward testing. Vouching, it's a backward testing. So vouching, it would be like I'm tracing it transactions from the purchase journal back to the source documents. But now, if I'm doing
Okay.
that, I'm not checking for completeness. If I'm vouching back from the subsidiary
Mm-hmm.
journals to the source documents, what I'll be doing now, it will be checking or to confirm existence, or validity, basically.
Correct.
Yeah. So it will be actually validity in this instance, validity of the transaction captured. So in this case, the guiding point is it's completeness. So if I'm checking for completeness, I have to be doing a forward testing. So it's either I am tracing from the source documents provided to the purchase journal, or I'll be comparing records from the source documents against the transactions that have been captured on the purchase journal. That's how we can go about with this one. And then, but remember, because you're not limited to just doing that, you can also perform an analytical procedure here. You can perform an analytical procedure maybe for the past 3 months, just to ascertain whether they've been consistent with regards to capturing of these records, documents rather, in the journal. So you can do that maybe for a sample of 3 months to ascertain whether they've been captured consistently or not. But that would be an analytical procedure. But I'll explain it further when we do the actual assignment discussion. So valuation to determine that the liability in respect of credit purchase is recorded at the correct value. What do you think you can do with this one?
Okay, let me read it again. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
It's a tricky one, I know.
It is. It is very tricky.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, but it's fine. We'll come back to it. That's why I would have to still discuss the actual whole assignment with you later. But it's something to think about for homework purposes.
Okay, no problem.
Mhm. Then cut off. Cut off basically you would have to be comparing. So you'll be doing an analytical procedure for this, where you are checking for dates as well. Basically, you're checking for dates with cut off.
Mm-hmm.
That's what will be happening there. Let me tell this group that wants to join now that guys, um, we will okay, right. Okay, I'll communicate with them offline so I can continue with you here. Question 2. So let's look at question 2. What are they saying in the required 2.1?
They're saying that we should list the steps that the internal auditor should follow when reporting on an audit engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is analyzing the information and compiling an internal audit finding
Mm-hmm.
based upon the requirements of the IIA global standards pertaining to audit findings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So list the what? The
That's how
internal.
far I can see.
Okay. So it says list what? The steps the internal auditor should follow when reporting. All right. This one it's chapter 7, internal audit and introduction. I'll navigate there shortly. Mm,
Okay.
mhm. I just want to confirm something here, ne? What is the question? List the internal. Okay. List the steps the internal auditor should follow when reporting on an audit engagement, right? Let me
Yes.
just make sure if it's chapter 7 indeed. Because you know what is happening in chapter 7, they are talking about okay, ways of compiling like working papers basically. But on reporting, I think it's on chapter 6. Let me check, let me confirm in chapter 6 quickly.
Cool.
Just want to be sure, eh? So that when I give you references, we are going to the relevant reference points. I just want to verify that. Unless otherwise it could be in chapter 9 of performing internal audit engagements. So, all right. So what was the question again? List the steps the internal auditor should follow when reporting. So when you are reporting, where is it? It's that textbook now. Oh, there it is. So obviously after you've performed the engagement, the last step is to report. Why is it not showing here? Let me check it from this study guide. I want to see that
Is
learning.
reporting not on performing internal audit engagements? Maybe. I don't
Um,
know.
let me check. It can be because you see with okay, let me see. No, basically with performing, what you do is you are collecting the evidence and you're also documenting it. So you just a second. I need to plug my laptop charger. Actually, low. Oh, it's the pen. Okay. I'm wondering why it's saying battery low. Okay. All right. With the step 2, okay. No. It can't be this. It can't be this. But in the study guide for 2602, we will find that information. Learning unit 14. Let me try to go there and check. I just want to confirm, ne?
Okay.
Because I want to be sure that I'm giving you the right stuff. Internal audit, especially the steps. You see this one, phase 4, audit reporting and follow up. It should definitely give
Okay.
us what we are looking for. So let me see phase 4. Um, phase 4, let me check. I just want to confirm. But obviously, I'll go back and do due diligence over this. But because obviously, phase 4, they are talking of audit reporting, right?
Yes.
And what was the question again?
We are required to list the steps for reporting, I think, on an audit something.
It's a very
Let
interesting.
me
This is the
go
steps
back.
the internal audit should follow when reporting on an audit engagement. This is a very tricky one, but I'll go back to check because here I'm not seeing steps being listed, eh?
Mm-mm.
I'm not seeing steps being listed, and let me check from here. 6.7 types of engagements from no, you see now after this they are talking there has to be a part where they should be discussing about the steps. But this one I think let's leave it for now. This question I have to read through it thoroughly and check on my sources of references. And then I would advise on this one. So what I would put here is to be
Okay, great.
discussed. Yeah. So maybe on Sunday, when we do the assignment discussion, I will definitely have the references by then for this
Okay.
one, 2.1. I would have the references. Right. Mm, 2.2, analyze the information. Okay, definitely this one, the internal audit finding they are referring to is this. So with a finding, there has to be the following items. This is what makes up a finding. Can you see it?
Yes.
Those 5 things. That's what makes up a finding effectively.
Okay.
Mhm. That's what they want you to discuss on this one. But obviously, with regards to what is happening in the scenario, so it's more of an application based type of a question more than anything.
Okay. Noted.
Mhm. So, but we'll revisit this one. I want to make sure I give you, okay. Question 3, it's more practical. Would have to discuss it. Would have to definitely discuss this one. But let's do that on Sunday. We'd have to do that on this.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I have to end it here now before this next class people start being on my case.